New month, new motion. We're looking at NAS, right? New month, new motion, same chart. But as we see on the NASDAQ last month, we broke structure to the upside. We broke these highs here, 21,250. These are the highs of November. We see that price did break above full body candle. Right, that's very significant. That lets us know that price wants to continue in this direction. Right, and if you look previously, we broke above some other highs here. You can mark these up, you can mark these as well, whatever your preference is. Okay, and then of course all-time highs are up there, but these are the most relevant levels that I like as of now. Going down to the weekly. This was that level that we've all been loving and caring about. Price has been holding on here for a while, ever since November. Price has been holding that level. Let me just fix these lines here. I'm going to delete this one here. It was just there on the monthly to just indicate that yes, price did break structure to the upside, but I don't want to have it just here in the middle. Not trying to have too many lines. Okay, so as far as right now, I would be paying attention to these previous monthly lows, right? Pay attention to the previous monthly low, which is right here. Pay attention to the previous weekly low as well, right? These weekly lows are areas where price could potentially reverse. We don't know, but what we do know is that we can go down to smaller time frames and look at the structure, because last week, as price worked its way up, we actually caught these buys last week as a group. Some people, the ones who plugged in, we caught these buys from this area. Price came right back into this buy zone, ran for over 1,000 points. It ran for over 1,000 points to the upside. We came to fill the gap that was left when the market opened last Sunday, well beyond it, and then we immediately reversed back down, and we were not able to fully body candle close above any of these highs. So that's, as you see, that's why price reversed and then even gapped down lower. Okay, and if I'm looking at this structure, what do we always look for before we enter the market? We look for some type of liquidity, build up, a sweep, and a break above. Once that happens, go ahead and mark up the highs that we broke above. You can mark up the lows just to see where the liquidity is. And then, the stop loss will always be that low. So when price comes back, you can go ahead and look. Your first entry should be at the structure. And then if you want to add any more entries lower, that's also a smart idea as well. And more than likely, this move up will be some type of imbalance. So we may have some type of imbalance lower in here, or maybe some order block. So you can pinpoint wherever you want. You can put buy limits at any one of these levels, but I would always look here first, just in case. And you can even under leverage. Do a 0.01 under leverage position here. They call it a test trade, just in case price does not want to come give you a lower entry and it wants to continue from these highs. And if you back test this for yourself, you'll see many instances where price respects the retest and continues. And you'll also see instances where price comes even lower. It's up to you, personal preference. That's why it's important for you to take time outside of these sessions to back test and see how price reacts and see what you like the best, what works best for your psychology and your mindset. But this is the structure that we've been paying attention to ever since Trump's inauguration, right? We had this massive liquidity buildup right in here, and then we swept these lows, and then we broke above the highs. Price came back to retest, even filled in some imbalance, and then we flew, And as we see for the past few weeks, price has been respecting the same buy zone over and over and over. So we've been liking the buys here. We've been capitalizing on the buys repeatedly. So if we come back here again, guess what? We're going to buy. If you want super low risk buys, wait for any one of the lows to be swept, right? Because all these lows are inside of the buy zone, right? All of these wicks here that we see, this wick here, this wick, it's inside of the buy zone, right? So if price decides to sweep these lows, that's a pretty significant chance that, we could reverse and continue higher. And if not these wicks and it wants to come lower, there's even more over here. We can even sweep these lows, maybe even come to fill these lower imbalances. We don't really know. But we are in a very key area. I'm looking at that as well. And let's say price really does want to go lower. Guess what? We have more setups. We have liquidity here, a sweep, break above. We got this retest already and we flew. But if price ever came back down here, we can still take these trades. But as of right now, we are in a setup, right? Because again, if this was the entry, we broke structure, we retested. I'm looking for the closest setup near current price and the main setup, right? If this is the main setup, if this is the main accumulation schematic that we have, and again, this low here, it's indicative of this low. I just put it there so I can draw it better. And then this high that I pointed to is indicative of this wick, but I just did it so it looks cleaner. And then we did sweep these lows here and then broke above, right? If this is the main setup, this is the original play that caused price to move. Now I'm looking here for any other setups, and just like this, to confirm that price actually wants to respect this structure here. And as we see, we have a very nice break of structure. And as we know, once price breaks structure, that marks the completion of the accumulation phase, and then vice versa for distribution. So since we broke these highs, if you go to a smaller time frame, this is all accumulation right there, right? So this is the entry, and then the stop loss would be the lows of that same area. So this could be an entry, right? Stop loss there. Most people, they're not willing to risk 345 points. That's why you have to under leverage the first touch. You don't want to go too crazy and drop massive lot sizes, and then price gaps down, you get messed up. Even last week, price was up here and people were saying, should I get in buys? And I'm like, you could, but we're already at the highs. We're right near all-time highs. We just filled the gap. It's very high risk. It's very high risk. So I said wait till this week. And then what happened? Price gap down. And if I go back to the daily, pay attention to this area. Let me delete all this so you're not too confused with all these lines. Right? If this is the setup here, right? This is we broke structure to the upside. So that's the high that we broke above. And that same candle, I marked up the lows because that would be the stop loss. So pay attention to here. I'm going to go to smaller time frames and show you the accumulation. Go down to the 4 hour. You see it more clearly. Go down to the 1 hour. You start to see more accumulation. You start to see it. We have, boom, that right there. We have this one. And then price sweeps. And then finally breaks above. Gives you that retest. And then continues. But on the daily, it just looks like one candle. It just looks like one candle. Where is it at? It just looks like one candle. right? The high and the low. Just keep it simple. So price is there right now. It's in the buy zone. As of now, I'm going to personally wait until New York session tomorrow. But if you are absolutely itching for a trade, this is an area where price could respect. Price could respect this. If you're a little bit hesitant, that's fine. Go down to the smaller time frames and wait for a confirmation. Wait for a confirmation. So as we see, price did gap down pretty significantly, right? This gone, price gap down over, 300, 400 points. Very nasty drop. As we see, this is all we have. Let's go down to the 15. I like to use the 15-minute minimum. Of course, you can use the smaller time frames like the 1 minute, but I want to see some action on the 15-minute to really give that full-hearted, blown confirmation, full confidence, no excuses. These are the highs. And as we can see, price, it did essentially come to this wick, gave us the low, came to the highs, right? And then we technically did sweep these lows. So a break above these highs would confirm or complete the setup, right? If you break structure, that completes the accumulation. So once we get that, then that would present more confidence in the setup. If you look closer down here, we see we actually broke some structure here, right? This is a high on the 15-minute, and we did break above, right? So if you go down to, let's say, the 1 minute and really examine it, we see more closely what's going on. You can even use these, right? We had a low, a high, sweep, break above, and price retested. And then we even broke more structure. We broke more highs to the upside, and just now it's playing in this whole area. So this could also be used if you're like a really dedicated scalper. You could use this as your entry, right? Very minimal risk. It's about still 50 points if you had this as your stop loss from where current price is. Still 50 points, but you can use this as well. So me personally, I'm in no rush. If you were with us last week, you should have cashed out. Like, you should have made some money somewhere. All week we were, cashing out. Very good gains, very good price movement as well. Again, over 1,000 pips minimum. If you're plugging in, I know some people, they're busy. Maybe they didn't set their alerts, but it's highly recommended that you guys do plug in as well. Stay on top of that. But again, there's absolutely no rush. We're just waiting for price to do its thing. That's on NAS. I'm just gonna delete all this. It's a new month. It's gonna be a new chart. I'm gonna mark this up again anyway. Let me go back to the monthly. Always start with top-down analysis. Every single day, you should start with the monthly. Every day, go to the monthly time frame, and then the weekly, and then the daily. Every single day. Never skip it. It's like never skip leg day. Never skip top-down analysis. All right. US 30, we're still high. Price is high up here. We broke this structure right here very cleanly. We're holding that. You can also use this structure here. Price is very bullish. Price is making, higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs and higher lows. Right? It's giving you the plays right in there. This is also a setup, an accumulation schematic as well. Let me see. See how we break these highs, very significant levels, and price has been respecting this. It's been respecting this. If you want discount buys, you can go from the lows to the highs. And then, discount buys would be right here. Anything from this level and below counts as discount. 50% is the blue line. 786, 886 is the red double line right in there. So this is all discount. We don't know if price wants to go down there. We have no idea. If I zoom in a little bit closer, I see that we also have some structure here as well that we broke above. Since we never got the retest of this break of structure, like if this candle right here broke structure, since we never got a retest, that means that this candle that broke structure is imbalanced, right? We never came back with the wick to balance the market. We never got that. So that means that this candle here is imbalanced for now. Do we have to come in here and fill it? Do we have to get the retest? No. But it's an area to keep an eye on. There's also here, we never got the retest. So what does that mean? That means that this candle is imbalanced. Still. Almost came back down with this wick, but never fully came back down. So these are two areas I'd be looking for possible entries. And again, if price comes to these zones and you're kind of iffy or on the fence, wait for the setup. Go down to the 15-minute and then wait for the confirmation. Right? Same thing with NAS. We don't have it yet. You don't have it yet. So you got to be very patient. So again, going back to the weekly, we see price is pretty high as we speak. If you look at the fib, boom, from these lows to the highs, 50%, the discount area is right over here. But we do have areas where price could retest. So once price gets in these areas, once it comes lower, you can wait for the accumulation schematic. Same thing as NAS. We haven't really gotten a confirmation just yet. We'd have to break above these highs, full body candle. Again, we have the low with that wick. We have the highs, right, that were created. This technically swept these lows and all these lows in between. So once we do break structure to the upside, that completes the accumulation schematic. So when price comes back for the retest, you can go ahead and start capitalizing on those moves. That's going to be your confirmation, right? If you're a little bit more aggressive like me, I personally will just have buy limits set at the structure here on the monthly, and then on the weekly as well. I have one here. So regardless if I see the setup, I do have the buy limit right in there because I know that this break of structure was a completion of a previous accumulation schematic, right? And then once price does give me that 15-minute confirmation, then I'll add on more positions. But I'll definitely be having a buy limit here at this break of structure, this one here as well, and at the sweep of the lows. You can use that low and this low because once price sweeps previous lows, especially on the monthly and weekly time frames, there's a very high chance that price can continue in that direction, right? Same thing with NAS. If you go to the monthly, if price decides to come significantly lower and sweep these lows, I'm definitely setting buy limits right here. That's a very low risk liquidity sweep entry, right? Because we know the market likes to hunt for liquidity. And we know that every wick, the high and low of each wick, that's liquidity. If 50 million traders are putting the stop loss, because where does everyone put their stop loss? Let me know in the chat. Where does everyone typically put their stop loss? Below the wick. Exactly. So if 50,000 people are putting their stop loss below the wick, that's liquidity. That's money resting in the market. So when price comes to those areas, especially on the monthly, weekly, daily, there's a pretty significant chance that price can reverse. And if that's the monthly low, right? If this is the monthly low, and this is the weekly low here, these are two areas I'd be looking to take buy limits to continue the price, especially since, again, we broke structure here to the upside. All right, that's overlapping very That's extreme buy pressure. Not only are we coming back to retest this structure, and we're also sweeping previous lows, that's extreme buying pressure. Extreme buying pressure. So this is a very lucrative area to be taking buys. We also have this structure here as well that's been holding up. And again, this structure has been holding ever since the inauguration. Ever since then. Ever since, and again, I'm gonna repeat this over and over. This is the setup. Boom, the sweep, the break above, retest, gone. So we already have the accumulation schematic ready to go. So if price comes back in these areas, I'm for sure looking to take those buys. No questions asked, no doubt about it. Now, if it wants to come lower and disregard all this and say, I don't care about your buy limits, I don't care about retesting your structure, it wants to go lower, guess what? There's other wicks as well. There's stop losses here, here, here. All these are stop losses. Everyone has their stop losses at well, actually, anything below this wick, because this wick came and swept this and this. So the only ones that's left are these three. Right, besides this wick and this wick, the only other liquidity is here. And if it wants to go even lower, there's some leftover imbalance here as well. So that's another option. But we have to get through all this first. We got to clap all these buyers here and these buyers here to get down there. So we'll see what happens in there. We'll pay attention to the 15-minute time frame and see if we get any type of confirmation. Anything can happen between tonight London session and tomorrow New York session. We'll be paying close attention to this. This is pretty easy because this is literally it. There's no other candles to distract you. So this is like the main focus. Like focus on what's happening with current price action. What is this structure telling you? That's my POI, man. That would be a nasty buy. Yeah, that would be a nasty buy for sure. If price really wanted to come, I know you were talking about the daily imbalance that you're looking at your point of interest right in here. Yeah, price can easily come back in there. We don't know, but again, we would have to violate all these lows, and then not reverse. Like price would have to literally just like full body candle close and just continue to push lower. So it has a lot of work to do. We'll see. I know this week we have news every day, right? Starting tomorrow, there's news every day. We have a red folder news every single day. So very curious to see what they're gonna want to do. And we are going to be trading live tomorrow. Certified Snipers New York session. We're going to be on there Monday and then Wednesday as well. So we got some news around the same time that we're going to be on the charts. So stay tuned for that. But it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Last week, again, if you're with us last week, definitely should have cashed out something as well. I know some people were buying at the highs as well. I did make a disclaimer, like, we are at the highs, wait for this week, just in case. And when the market gaps down like this or gaps up, all they're doing is wiping out over leveraged positions, especially with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is famous for that. You'll see, 10 trillion wiped out from the market in 5 minutes on Bitcoin. Yeah, they're liquidating all these people who are taking out loans and putting heavy leverage lot sizes on their positions because they want to, ride that wave or catch like the FOMO. Maybe they missed the lower entry, so they're trying to catch those FOMO trades. But as you know, we've been calling buys at this level for weeks now. Price has not really moved from this area. We've really been calling the same buys from the same area over and over, literally just setting buy limits here. And as you see, we've had multiple we had, what is this? The beginning of last month, we caught these buys. Whole chat, we caught these buys. It came back again last week, Sunday. The market gapped down, came right back to the same buy zone, retest the same structure, took it again over 1,000 pips, right? This is very, basic. Just set your buy limit and walk away. Right? There was no reason to try to catch any of all this unless you were like already in there or you were just like stacking positions. But I know that's what I was doing. But I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years, right? So I know how to maneuver in the markets, right? But we've been calling these lower entries for you guys. You guys have had plenty of opportunity to catch the snipers, right? You should have at least had these entries in bare minimum. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here this upcoming week. Very, very exciting. SPX, very similar situation. I'm not going to go too deep into the rest of the indices. It's all essentially the same thing. And then with Bitcoin as well, Bitcoin took a dump. Let's go to the monthly. As we see last month's candle, if you look at the candle from last month, right here, we did close above the November highs. This is the November candle. This is the high. Last month, we had a full body candle close above these highs. So that tells us that price wants to continue bullish, because in a bullish environment, we are making higher highs and higher lows, but you can't make a higher high unless you break structure to the upside. So that's exactly what's happening here on Bitcoin. Again, disclaimer, we are in the premium buy zone. These are high risk premium buys, because if you look at the structure and look at the Fibonacci from the lows to the highs, the discount zone is all the way down here from 79, 80K and below. And there's also this huge imbalance. So price could come down here. It can even come back down to retest 73,000. We don't know. What I do know is that we are still respecting structure. We haven't broken below any previous weekly lows, previous monthly lows. These two monthly lows have not been broken below with the full body candle, nor have we even swept it. So we are still good on the monthly time frame. Even looking at the weekly here, last week we did close beneath this weekly low, but we haven't closed beneath any other lows here. We've only been sweeping liquidity and then pushing price to the upside, right? Here's one example here. We had some lows. Also the imbalance. Price came lower, swept the previous weekly lows, and then flew over 10,000, 15,000 points. No drawdown. And then we came back down again and swept all these lows here. Right, all these wicks. This one came, swept all that, and then flew another 15,000 points. Easy money. And then now price is still struggling to make, higher highs. Still struggling to break structure to the upside. Right, we have not broken these highs here. Well, these technically were, but the one above it here was not. Failed to break above those highs. This is more liquidity being swept. We even swept these highs. What do I always say? And anytime we sweep highs or lows, especially on the monthly, weekly, daily, there's a high chance that price can reverse. So once on Bitcoin swept these highs, I would have been taking profit. If you're like day trading it or like scalping it, if you're holding it, then yeah, you just hold it. But if you're like intraday trading and below, you want to take your profits at any type of weekly, monthly, or daily sweep, right? Those are good areas to target. So we'll see what happens on Bitcoin in this area. Does price want to just use all this as liquidity and just sweep all this and come lower to these areas to fill these? We don't know. But price, the structure still hasn't been violated here. Structure still hasn't been violated. Still technically good. For me personally, If I'm going to add on any more Bitcoin positions, I'm going to wait until we sweep some more monthly lows. I'm going to wait until we sweep one of these lows, try some more buy limits for the sweep, and then a continuation to break more highs. If this gets cooked, then I'm going to wait and for us to come lower down here, or just wait for another accumulation schematic to appear here on the 15-minute, on the hourly, 4-hour, and see what's actually happening. And then when it comes to gold, same thing on Ethereum as well. These Ethereum buys technically are still valid. I know people are like shook right now, but that's when you buy. You buy when people are scared, when people are fearful, and oh no, what's happening to this and what's happening to that's when you should be buying. See this structure here? We broke structure and we've been retesting it. Price came back to retest it again. We're still good. We're still good, right? When it comes to crypto, you have to have like a longer term mindset. I know there's like a lot of scalpers, but I truly believe as you do progress as a trader and you have more, hours of back testing, you build more confidence behind the setup that allows you to hold the trade for longer, right? Because when you understand structure, when you understand price action on a monthly and a weekly and a daily time frame, you have more patience to hold your trades. It really comes down to patience. Do you have patience or do you not have patience? And how I got more patience was under leveraging. Because if you're putting 50 lots, 20 lots on one position, you're not going to have the patience to allow it to play. You're going to be so emotionally attached to the trade. Your heart's going to be beating so fast, damn near getting a heart attack, because you went too hard on the lot size. But when you under leverage, then you have more willingness to allow price to be in drawdown. We have more willingness to wait for price to go in your direction. So I even though I have like 30 positions on ETH, they're all like 0.01s. Nothing crazy. Like I'm not pressed for the drawdown. I think it's like a couple $100 of drawdown right now. I'm not even gonna even close them out. I'm good, right? We haven't even closed beneath any previous of these lows. We're still solid, right? So, and then this was another entry as well. All this is entry. We're good. I'm holding ETH for sure. We haven't even broken all-time highs on Ethereum, right? Whereas on Bitcoin, we've already broken that, right? Even XRP made it to the highs, right? Look at an XRP now. What do? We literally swept previous monthly lows and then gone. Massive rejection. Boom. We swept this, gone. Do you ever look at the higher monthly candles? Oh, you mean like the 12 month? Yeah, I typically look at me personally, I look at the 12 month because each candle is 1 year. So I like to look at the 12 month and then monthly and below. Yeah, 6 months. I don't really look at the 6 months. I just look at the 12 month and then the monthly and then weekly, daily. But let me go check it out real quick. Let me look at it on NAS, the 12 month. If you look at the 12 month on NAS, we're good, right? But we do have this massive imbalance right here as well. And if you really want to get technical, you can even mark up from these lows all the way to the highs, right? And the discount area is right where structure has been broken, right in here. Oh, let me take this off. Right, we broke structure right there with the full body candle, came back, got a retest. Right, so this was 3 years of price not being able to break these highs. We finally broke above, and then boom, 2024 came back for the retest. Now we're in 2025, and then now we have this here. This is all in balance from this wick to this wick. That's all in balance right here. The POA would mitigate perfectly for the 6 month. Oh, let me check it out. Oh, you mean the retest right here? On the 6 month, this is technically imbalanced as well. We haven't gotten the retest, so we could come back here. We don't really know. All we can do is wait. Only time will tell. Really, time tells all. Time tells all. Let's look at the 3 month. On the 3 month, it's all healthy price action. Yeah, I mean it would be. It would be. Should, could, would. You know, this is all healthy price action on the 3 month. On the 6 month, and even on the 6 month, yeah, it's a imbalance right there. 3 month. On the 3 month, it's healthy. So we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. But as far as right now with indices on NAS, we're just going to focus on what's happening right in here. Take this off real quick. We're going to focus on this area right in here. Right? We are hovering above the structure as well. But again, I'm going to exercise patience. I'm going to wait for a New York session tomorrow and see if we even get a 15-minute, break of structure to the upside. If we don't, that means price wants to go lower. I'm not going to force any positions. Last week was very good for me personally. Probably one of my best trades in a while. So I'm not going to be too greedy on anything, and I want to make sure you guys are going to be taking high probability trades as well. I don't want to get you guys into any FOMO trades, anything like that. But technically, this is a buy zone, right? Price is retesting this structure right in here. Technically, it is a buy zone. Personally, I would have already entered a test trade 0.01. And then once I see the 15-minute confirmation, then I'll do another position again, right? That's me personally. I highly recommend everyone in here. I'm not sure if you guys have a trading plan, but let me forward it to you guys. My personal trading plan. It's very important to have a trading plan. A lot of people, they just open up the charts and they don't really know like what steps that they need to take step by step. Let me see right there. Yeah, this is my personal trading plan. You guys can copy it if you want to. Exactly. You can, use it as reference, make your own, but everyone should have their own trading plan. Because I noticed a lot of people say, oh, what would you do here? What would you do there? Hey, Will, if this is your trade, what would you do? Would you do this? Would you do that? What does your trading plan say? What does your plan say? Because my plan is different. My psychology is different from yours. My level of patience is different from yours as well. Everyone has different emotional intelligence. Everyone has different levels of patience. I'm damn near a robot at this point. I have damn near no emotions. My patience is through the roof. Through the roof. Actually, yeah, it is. Yes, it was crazy because there's 4 people in my DMs every fucking day. They're sending me 5 memes a day, and I don't even open it. Sometimes I'll open it, but I don't even respond. I don't even like it. I don't even engage with it. And it's been 3-4 weeks, 50 messages, and then today I just snapped. I'm like, bro, you sent me 30 messages. I haven't responded. You're basically talking to yourself. Are you okay? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. It won't happen again. How's your personal development? So he was pretty much telling me I got to do some more PD because I snapped on him. I'm like, bro, just stop. Stop. Fuck the memes. Fuck the reels. Send me some charts. Send me some ways to get paid. Send me some money moves. I don't care about your memes. I don't care about your reels. Are we getting paid? Right? And he was not having it. So, but it took 30 messages for me to lose my patience. And I haven't lost my patience in a while. But yeah. Not even NAS made me snap like that. It's crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for everything I know. Let me check on gold real quick. Gold is still pretty bullish. I mean, just off seeing this alone, I see like we broke the structure, liquidity build up, sweep, break above. This is a super clean accumulation schematic, but I do see gold is already like pushing heavily. Price did sweep. We swept these lows right there, right? We also came back to retest this structure, and we even came lower to fill some of this imbalance. So price is already making its way up. I would go to the 15-minute and see, are we getting more accumulation, which we are. Let me just delete all this, right? Are we getting more accumulation? Are we breaking more structure to the upside? We are. We're breaking structure here. We're breaking structure there. So prices are looking pretty good on gold. Like, entries would have been nice down here, but we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. It makes me feel like I'm getting cooked. Or when it looks too obvious. I like it when it looks too obvious, because then it's like, boom, it's right in your face. Like, anytime I open up a chart, if you can't see the setup within like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you got to go back and study. Because like, you should be able to see the setup immediately. Immediately. This huge daily imbalance. Right there. Boom. Go to the weekly. Let me start with the monthly though. 12 month. If you look at the 12-month chart, the yearly candle, massive movement. Looking at the monthly, last month, I believe we closed above these highs. We closed above a previous monthly high. That's a good sign of more bullishness. Right there, breaking structure. We see that we also broke here. Huge monthly imbalance. So, this is all available. So price is still looking good. At this point in time, I would just wait for tomorrow or tonight if you're gonna stay up late, and just go to the 15-minute and wait for the setup to confirm. Yes, there's lower entries down here, right? There's super clean setups right here. Boom, sweep, break above. Like, this can be a super clean play. But the thing is, like, we just never know where price wants to go. You don't know how low or how high it wants to go. That's why I just mark up the monthly, weekly, daily levels of where it could potentially go to retest or mitigate. And then I'll go down to the 15-minute and then see if we're getting an accumulation schematic near or around those higher time frame levels. Because this will really tell you where price wants to go right there. And since we had a massive break of structure to the upside and we're still pushing, this may be like, where accumulation wants to hold and then push higher. So this looks good to continue higher for sure. We'll see once we get up here. There's some distribution as well, right? We have some, if you want to sell, we have like liquidity, sweep. We broke below. We got that retest, sold off, right? So, price could still have some trouble here. So we'll see what they want to do. You can also use this, liquidity. Boom, sweep, break below, retest, sell off into these buy zones over here. We don't know. I'm not going to like try and predict what price is going to do. I'm just going to pay attention to what's happening with structure and see, are we sweeping or breaking? Is structure being broken or are we sweeping it? Keeping it simple. Let me see. But that's it for me, really. You guys have any questions? Questions, comments, concerns, complaints as well. Like, I'm all open for growth. You guys are good? Okie dokie. I'll see you the certified snipers mañana, 6:25 a.m. New York session, and then we'll do market recap again as well later that night. But you guys have a good day, a good night. Stay blessed, and let's get it. Let's run it back.